Hello dear students, welcome to today's thermal engineering class, and today we are going to start new chapter, that is heat transfer. What is heat transfer? It is very simple and clear from itself. The flow of heat from one body to another or from one place to another is called as heat transfer, or it may be take place within the body also. So any type of heat transfer is called a heat transfer. There are three modes of heat transfer through which heat can be transferred. These three methods are conduction, convection and radiation. Let us see one by one what is the conduction. Conduction heat transfer takes in solid body whenever there is a temperature difference between different parts of a body. Then the particles of body at higher temperature give heat by mutual contact to the particles at lower temperature. So the conduction takes place within a body. The higher particle in a body give directly heat to the lower particle, which are mutually contact with those particles which are at higher temperature. So the heat flows from the part at higher temperature to the part at lower temperature. This process of heat transfer, in which the particles of the body does not leave their position, is called conduction. Let us see a very good example of conduction. When one end of a metallic bar is kept in fire, then the heat flows by the conduction from hot end of the bar to the cold end. As a result, other ends also become hot. You would have seen that when any metallic bar or any metallic wire, when one end we keep in our hand and other end we face to fire, then slowly we see that our hand feel that the end which we have taken in our hand, that is also getting hot. So this is the example of conduction. Conduction takes place within a body, and directly contact with one body to other body. It takes directly when two bodies are directly contact with each other. Higher temperature body gives temperature to give heat to lower temperature body. Just like when we touch our hand with ice, the heat from our hand transferred to ice, so our hand got cold. So conduction, it directly takes from one body to another body. The conduction takes place in solid and mercury. Let us see the another mode of heat transfer, that is convection. Whenever the temperature at lower region in a fluid, liquids or gas, fluid means liquid or gas, become higher than the temperature of upper region, the density of the fluid in the lower region becomes lesser than the upper region. In such condition, particles of the fluid in the lower region begin to rise and their places are occupied by the particles in upper region. This process continues till the temperature of the whole fluid becomes the same. This process of heat transfer in which particles of the fluid move is called convection. So as we see when we hot the water on a gas or induction, so we see that the particles at lower region gets heat first, and due to getting heat first, they gets dense. They gets their density get reduced. So as their density get reduced, those particles which got in heat at the lower region rise up. We will observe the hot water. When water is getting hot on the gas, we will see that the particles at lower region are coming up in form of bubbles. We will observe that. So that is the convection. In convection, direct particles moves by taking heat. The hot particle come upward, and the particle having more density, which are yet not heated, that goes at the place of that those particles which are higher density particle comes downward, and lower density particle move upward by taking heat. So that is the convection. And what is the radiation? Heat is also that is another mode of heat transfer. Heat is also transferred in the form of electromagnetic waves from a hot body. Heat transfer through electromagnetic waves from a body is called as radiation. So when heat transfer in the form of electromagnetic waves, then there is no need of medium to transfer of heat. So in radiation, need not any medium. Example, heat from the sun reaches the earth by radiation. So heat from sun to reach us by radiation, not by convection or conduction. As we know that after ending of our atmosphere, there is vacuum, no air. So how can heat come through convection? So from sun, heat comes to reach to us by the radiation method. So 2-3 points should be noted here, important point. In fluid, apart from convection, heat can also be transferred by conduction also, but in very less amount. And point number 2, heat transfer in conduction and convection takes place slowly, but in radiation takes place with the speed of light. In conduction and convection, heat may travel in zigzag path, but in radiation, heat transfer in a straight line. Let us see the steady state of heat transfer. What is the steady state of heat transfer? Suppose this is a body. The one end of the body is at T temperature and other end is T dash. And T is greater than T dash. So heat will transfer from higher temperature to lower temperature. So heat will take place from T to T dash. So let us consider 1, 2, 3 section in the body. Heat is transferring from T to T dash. And these are the intermediate sections which are perpendicular to transfer of heat. So if the temperature of 1, 2 and 3 individually constant, means if temperature of section 1 is T1 and that remains constant, and section 2 is T2 and that remains constant, and with time, and temperature section number 3 having temperature T3 and it remains constant. When all the different section having different temperature, but they itself remains constant. But this state of heat transfer is called as steady state of heat transfer. This is called steady state of heat transfer. Let us have a look on another point, that is the isothermal surface. What is the isothermal surface? The surface at every point of which the temperature is same is called as isothermal surface. In the steady state of a metallic rod, the temperature of every cross section becomes constant. At the state of steady state, every cross section is an isothermal surface. So as I told that when heat flow, then heat flows steadily, then every cross section perpendicular to heat flow having constant temperature. The whole surface contains same temperature. Suppose this is the cross section, heat is flowing from this T1 to T2, this is the cross section. The whole cross section will have the same temperature. Then this surface is called an isothermal surface. So at the state of steady state, every cross section is an isothermal surface. Isothermal surface have two important properties. The direction of heat flow is perpendicular to the isothermal surface. As I have told already, two isothermal surfaces can never intersect. These are two important properties of the isothermal surface. Let us see what is the temperature gradient. The rate of change of temperature with distance between two isothermal surfaces is called as temperature gradient. Suppose this is a body and the heat is transferring from surface A to surface B, and this is the temperature of surface A is T1 and surface B is T2, and the length between A and B is L. So then the rate of change of temperature between temperature with distance between two this is isothermal surface, this is isothermal surface. The rate of change of temperature with distance means the temperature difference between these two surfaces divided by length, means rate of change of temperature between two isothermal surfaces with respect to distance is called as a temperature gradient. So by the definition, T1 minus T2 by L is called the temperature gradient between two surfaces. So the unit of temperature gradient will be degrees Celsius per meter. Let us check the another quantity, that is coefficient of thermal conductivity. What is the coefficient of thermal conductivity? Let us try to understand what is the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Let us consider a parallel phase slab with cross section area A and length L. This is a parallel phase slab, cross section area A and length L. Let the phases F1 and F2 are maintained at steady temperature T1 and T2. Heat will flow from T1 to T2 as T1 is greater than T2, as we know that heat transfer from higher temperature to lower temperature. Let no heat escape from slab in any other way, that is convection or radiation. Means heat is transferring only from this slab to this slab along this path. The direction is given here, and no other heat transfer is taking place from the slab. The heat Q will enter in the phase F1 and the same quantity of heat Q will come out from the phase F2. Experimentally, it is found that in this condition, when there is no any mode of heat transfer is taking place from the slab and slab is parallel, means uniform cross section. In such situation, the amount of heat at a particular duration of time will be directly proportional to cross section area and directly proportional to temperature difference between these two surfaces. Heat transfer taking from this to this will be in a particular time duration will be directly proportional to temperature difference, will be directly proportional to cross section area, and will be directly proportional to time for which we have taken. Suppose Q heat is transferring in T time, so Q will be directly proportional to T. As the time will escape, the more heat will be transferred, and the heat transfer is inversely proportional to length. This is the finding of the experiment. So when we combine all the terms, we get heat is directly proportional to the cross section area into time taken to transfer this much heat, and temperature difference between these two isothermal surfaces, and between L is the length between these two isothermal. When we remove the proportionality, then a constant will take place, that is K. That K is the constant of proportionality. So this K is called as the thermal conductivity of the material. This depends on the material. This depends on only material. For different materials, these are different. So this is called thermal conductivity, coefficient of thermal conductivity. And here T1 minus T2 by L is thermal gradient, as we have already studied about it in last article. And as we can see that the thermal conductivity will be higher, the heat transfer will be higher in the same time. Means rate of heat transfer will be more for the higher thermal conductivity. So it is found that in metallic things, the rate of heat transfer is more. So thermal conductivity of metallic things are more, and the thermal conductivity of the non-metallic things are less, like rubber, plastic, wood. The thermal conductivity, so these are good insulator of the heat, means they resist the heat. They resist the flow of heat. So this equation we can write in differential form, so that number of problems we can solve using this equation when there is a variable temperature gradient, and then where there is a variable temperature gradient, then we can solve the problem by using the differential form of the equation. As in first law, second law, we use a differential equation, differential form of the law. So here is this is the law of heat conduction, and the differential form we can use here. Again I am rewriting the equation. Q by T is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 by L. So Q by T is the rate of heat transfer. In differential form we can write it dQ by dt is equal to Ka constant, and this is the temperature gradient, means rate of change of temperature with the length. In differential form we can write it d theta by dl, and d theta is the change in temperature in length dl. So this is a differential form of this law of heat conduction. So we can solve number of problems by using this equation where there is a variable temperature gradient. Here I have taken negative sign, because negative sign indicate that the heat flow, that in the direction of heat flow there is a fall in temperature, means this quantity will be positive, heat transfer will be positive from higher temperature to lower temperature, and from higher temperature to lower temperature difference will be negative, means in the direction of heat transfer there is a fall in temperature. So to balance this equation we are putting here minus sign, because this is positive and this is negative. To make this quantity positive we are putting a minus sign, and the unit of thermal conductivity will be, when we take all the quantities here, we are getting unit of thermal conductivity joule per meter second degree Celsius, or if we take in the form of heat transfer per second, then it will be watt per meter second. Watt per meter second. So this is a unit of thermal conductivity. Let us have a look on one more quantity, that is thermal resistance. As we know that in an electric circuit, due to a potential difference between 2 points, there is a flow of current takes place. Similarly, in a conductor, due to difference temperature between 2 points, in a conductor, there is a flow of heat takes place. Means, just like in a conductor, due to potential difference, current flow takes place. Similarly, due to temperature difference, heat flow takes place. So, just like in electrical resistance, there is a thermal resistance in the material also there. Just like electrical resistance in the material, there is also a resistance that is called thermal resistance, which resists the flow of heat. So as we know that heat flow rate H is equal to Q by T is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 by L. So T1 minus T2 by H is equal to L by Ka. So when we compare this quantity with the electrical relation, so in place of T1 minus, this is the temperature difference by heat flow, and when we compare it with electrical relation, here will be potential difference by current flow, and this will called electrical resistance. Means potential difference by current flow will be resistance. So here temperature difference by heat flow is equal to this quantity L by K is called the thermal resistance. So we are comparing here, see this line number 6, potential difference analog of temperature difference and rate of flow of charge, means current flow it is analog of rate of heat flow, and here is the electrical resistance analog of thermal resistance. So when we compare this electrical quantity, potential difference by current is equal, it is similar to temperature difference by heat flow. Current flow, heat flow, potential difference, temperature is equal to resistance, here L by K. This L by K is called the thermal resistance of the conductor. So by comparing these two quantity V1 minus V2 by I is equal to R with T1 minus T2 by H is equal to L by Ka, we get a quantity L by Ka. It is called as thermal resistance of the conductor. So we have started here heat transfer, and if some topics are left in the last chapter, like Rankine cycle, that we will see in next classes, and nozzle, condenser and turbine we will see after the heat transfer. And in meantime I will try to send you notes of nozzle and turbine and condenser, that is fully theoretical parts. So 1-2 parts will be conceptual, otherwise that is fully theoretical part. So I will try to transfer the notes in between. This chapter will be over. Thank you.